Ohayou gozaimashita! Konnichiwa konbanwa watashi no name Mark desu. Irashaimase.
Or in other words, greetings and salutations, Sledge ladies and gender fluid friends of any persuasion. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Gamersledge. I'm one of your hosts, Mark, and joining me today is, of course, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello, everybody.
And also joining us, not from a church with flowers in it, is Dave.
Hi.
Hi.
I haven't had enough to deal with you, so
enough to deal with me yet? Yeah, I imagine so. What is the drink of the evening?
So with my perfectly clear ice, it's a thing of beauty, and my nice heavy glass is the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked.
So you're drinking trees. That's what I hear.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Well, we have lots to talk about because it has been a month since we've done the podcast because timing. Last time, I think, Matt, you might have been on a trip. I'm not sure. The days all run together. My sleeping schedule is all over the place also. So let's go around the room and talk about what we've been doing in the last month. I think the last time we got together, Barbie and Oppenheimer had just came out.
Wow.
Yeah, probably.
Wow. So Matt,
I haven't seen either of those.
Are you serious? Really?
No.
Okay. Well,
when you live, 40 miles away from the closest theater and,
Wait, what?
I live 40 miles away from the closest movie theater. Okay, that's not technically true, but I live 40 miles away from the nearest movie theater I'm willing to go to. Shall we say that?
All right, that sounds a little bit better, but still, wow.
Still wow. Agreed.
Like the worst theater I have still has recliner seats, that you pick and choose, and it's 2 minutes from my house if I hit traffic.
So surprisingly, no recliner seats in all of Vegas.
What?
I know. I was really surprised. I mean, we've got the full IMAX and everything, and it's nice, and reserve seating is nice, and they're good sized. They're the executive class airline chairs, I guess is the best way I'd say that. But they don't recline. None of them recline.
The previous, the precursor to the recliner seat.
Yes. And the theaters were built about that time because I guess up until about 10 years ago, all the theaters were in the casinos. And you couldn't have a theater outside the casinos.
Huh. I was ready to say I would think that Vegas was a place that invented that level of opulence.
Yeah, I have gone to a couple of the theaters that are in the casinos, and they're okay. But I wouldn't call it opulent by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, now they're the older rundown ones that you have to walk through all the smoke to get to. So I just stick with my AMC Stubs membership instead. Or A-list membership. And go there instead. But no reclining seats, sadly.
I don't use the reclining feature, so it doesn't really bother me. Wouldn't really bother me, but it just that does seem odd.
Man, I will tell you, when I was in San Francisco and they had the recliners, I used those things every time. I had to keep looking over and make sure Lexi hadn't fallen asleep next to me whenever she went with me. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Cass has never fallen asleep at a movie with the recliner.
I remember I was really thankful for the, I used to hate the feature. Did you ever go to a theater with the butt kicker seats?
Mm.
Okay, so it's basically the next evolution.
Oh, the
of
4D
those-
seats.
Yeah, the ones that have all the speakers in it, so it like vibrates your organs until they
Oh, not the
liquefy.
actual vibrating, because I've been in those too. Like it moves. The seat moves with the movie.
Yeah, it's just speakers, but
Oh.
a lot of them.
Oh yeah, no, this
And
this you actually like moved around and it like threatened to make you throw up.
yeah, that's no good either. But these were like just like the seat was a subwoofer basically.
Right.
I remember seeing Blade Runner 2049 at one of these theaters, and I was kind of annoyed because like usually they're supposed to like kind of fit with the action and everything like that, and you could see how it'd be cool for explosions and stuff like that. But this Blade Runner is a slower movie, but the soundtrack with the horn, the wall, kind of thing would just set the chairs in overdrive every time. And it's like these slow scenes and your chair's just like doing this. But the only thing good about it is there was this like narcoleptic nerd right next to me. And like I can say that being a nerd, but like the dude was just like falling asleep and snoring. So I'm sorry. If you go to a movie and you are a snorer and you're tired, like don't do it. But the seat kept waking him up instantly every time. I was pretty happy for that. Other than that, I hate him.
So the ones they called them 4D, and we saw Mad Max, the last Mad Max movie. That should tell you, that dates it a little bit. But like literally the seats, every seat in the row moves. So it'll sway to the left or it'll sway to the right, or if they're like coming over the top of a dune, it'll actually like chuck you upward like a roller coaster, that to where you get that little, yeah. And Lexi thinks it was like the greatest movie experience she's ever had in her life. I was sitting there going, herk. It was cool, but only for like the first 3 minutes of the movie, and then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done with this now.
Now I want to see Mad Max again.
Yeah,
but I could see it being fun for a few minutes. But
I mean, did you ever consider that the narcoleptic guy was actually a movie review critic, and he was taking really solid notes on the movie on Blade Runner 2049, because that's what that movie was.
Oh.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Oh.
I need another.
You can write the dissenting opinion and we'll
yeah. I like the movie fine. It was just a little slow for my taste.
Yeah, this is a slower movie.
But let's do what we always do, which is go around the room and talk about what we've been doing. We're starting with you, Matt, which we've interrupted like 6 times now.
Yeah, no problem. Well, the first thing I guess I had done since the last thing, I went to a concert, which I like never do. But yeah, we went to Lindsey Sterling with Walk Off the Earth, and had not seen either of them, knew very little about Walk Off the Earth before going to see it. The kids were very well versed in it, but this was at the state fairgrounds, so that was a nightmare. We want to talk about unfun things to do. Try to get parked at the state fair.
Try to get something that's not fried butter at the state fair.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with fried butter. But yeah, apparently, I mean, we didn't get, because the parking thing was such a fiasco, we didn't have nearly as much time to walk around the state fair as we were going to have. So apparently 98% of the fair is just food, which I guess is fine, but that was just kind of weird. Or at least the section that we were in was almost all food with a cigar bar in the middle, which was also kind of weird. But we did find the one house where like all of the plants and food and crops and stuff had the winners from each of the division in, so we were able to walk through that and found this giant wall of dahlias, which was kind of sad because none of my dahlias sprouted this year, so that it was kind of sad, but it was cool to see some. Got some ideas for tubers to buy next year. But anyway, yeah,
the look on Dave's face for this entire description encapsulates what I've been wanting to say the whole time. Wisconsin, everybody.
Hey, come on! Everybody likes dahlias, don't they?
We start talking like that when I realize we do live in different worlds.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Very much so. Very different worlds.
Oh boy.
I mean,
Anyway, the concert though was very fun. Lindsay puts on a great show. Walk Off the Earth. If you haven't seen any of their stuff, they got all their stuff's online. They're primarily an online presence. They only release like collector's vinyls. They don't have like a CD or anything, so you can only get like their singles on online vendors and stuff. So, but yeah, it's a interesting group. They do some a lot. They have a lot of gimmicky stuff too. Like they'll like play a song plucking the strings of an upright piano instead of playing the piano, or plucking the strings and playing the piano at the same time, which is seemingly complicated, but maybe not. So yeah, anyway, that was fun. Aside from the 3-hour parking fiasco. Back to the more traditional things we talk about. I've been
Well, wait. How would you rate Lindsey Sterling like out of 10 as a concert? Which I already
10?
know the answer for, but
Yeah, I'd say it was a solid like 9.5.
yeah.
There was a lot of really good production value. They did this really cool thing with the spotlights, which unfortunately from our seats didn't work, but I saw what they were doing. But they used the spotlights and smoke to make a crystal ball around her. If you were like, because there's one album where she's like a ballerina inside a snow globe, and they actually made like the snow globe around her with the lights. Unfortunately, didn't get to see it firsthand. I kind of saw what they were doing with the monitor and the smoke and everything, but yeah, it was really good production value. I guess she does like all of the stage production and costumes and all that stuff herself, which is kind of wild for a national tour. But yeah, no, it was really good. I'd say they were both solid 9.5s. They were both fun. They were both entertaining. Songs were good. Yeah, and the State Fairgrounds is a place to go see a concert. Not terrible.
It's a shame you can never see Walk Off the Earth again.
Yeah, because they walked off the earth. So,
right. So it's done.
Yeah. One performance and that was it.
It's a shame they believe that whole flat thing. So that's the troublesome about them.
But yeah, I'd say hop on YouTube, give them a search, and you check them out. They're pretty good. So I've been watching Ahsoka. We're 3 episodes in. I'm digging it. I think Dave said it before. It's basically just another season of Rebels, in many respects. My only dislike of the Filoni-verse, as I've come to call this new live action era of Star Wars, is that I have no idea where anything is taking place relative to anything else. They give you so few clues on time passage and what has or hasn't happened yet. It's like, everything always used to be established relative to the Battle of Yavin. And I got used to that, like, okay, this is so far after the Battle of Yavin or before the Battle of Yavin. And they're just here, here's some content, have it, I don't know, it doesn't matter where it takes place. Just go with it.
I have a question.
I figured it out after we talked about it. So Rebels technically led up to
A New Hope, and then skipped to the end of Return of the Jedi, or post Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's right. Then it jumped.
Yep.
So from there, it passed another 9 years.
Has it been 9? Is something established that it's been 9 years since?
I thought there was something that said 9 years later.
Well, can't you tell by whether she's got her black and white stripes versus her red and white stripes?
For Pete's sake. Okay, the joke is old.
Why did you invite him?
I don't know.
Oh, wait. It's
the other way around, I guess.
Yeah, I really did think she had red and white for a while until you all reminded me, no, that's somebody else that I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Top 1% of Switch people. Top 1%.
But yeah, it's nice to have see everyone that has been able to reprise the role. David Tennant coming back in there, and those folks that are new taking on an existing role. They're doing a great job. So yeah, it it's been really well done. It's I keep on subtitling Ahsoka mopes in Anakin, complains in Anakin, because everything she does is like phrases it like Anakin did when he was training her and stuff. It's funny. But yeah, watched a few more episodes of Sweet Tooth season 2.
Wait a minute. Wait. I think you just broke my brain. She was trained by Anakin?
Yes.
Because remember, I've not watched Rebels. I've not watched any of the other excess original trilogy stuff. So I did not know. I assumed she trained under somebody completely different. I didn't know she trained under Anakin.
She is a Dave Filoni original creation. When his first show, The Clone Wars, came out, she was introduced as the hitherto unknown Padawan of Anakin Skywalker that he had during the Clone Wars.
I had no idea. Legitimately. That's interesting. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So this was wait. So this would have been post Qui-Gon, but post Obi-Wan, but pre the third movie.
It takes places between the second and third movie. So Obi-Wan's still there. Anakin got knighted somewhere along in there. So he, as a knight, he got assigned a Padawan. Obi-Wan doesn't get a new Padawan, but basically is still, kind of taking that role with Anakin as a young knight still. So it's still kind of basically the Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka show.
And that's Rebels?
No, that's Clone
Wars. Okay, and then Clone
Rebels
Wars
takes place after the third movie, about 5 years after, no, about 10 years after, no, 10 to 50, it's probably closer to 15 years after the third movie, which would put it about 5 years before A New Hope. And it ends right as what we call Star Wars, A New Hope begins.
Got it.
And then the last 10 minutes of the last episode skips to post Return of the Jedi.
Thank you for the follow. Alitario, am I saying that? Thank you. And damn, I could be a bird, and I would really love living on the beard of this Matt and Dave, fine gentlemen.
Well, thank you.
They do have very fine beards. I cannot grow a beard to save my life, sadly.
I'm actually, I have to work on something. I have like 2 layers going on right now because I need to fill in. I noticed it was getting straggly and it wasn't coming in the way I wanted. So I'm like, I need to add more to it.
I just figured you were going for the long Fu Manchu eventually.
No, I was mainly going for Jim the Anvil Neidhart, which I figured you would appreciate.
Yeah.
And so I got to work on that, but I need to fill it out a little bit. It needs a little more depth.
But welcome in, Alitario. Let us know what your favorite video game of all time is, and also let us know if you stream and what you have to eat today. Speaking of what you guys have to eat today,
we'll be judging you on your
no judging, no judgment. What did you guys have to eat today?
With me?
Yeah,
I had a buffalo chicken cheesesteak that was fantastic.
A buffalo chicken cheesesteak? That sounds good.
Sounds awesome.
What about you, Matt?
Oh, yeah.
And I, for the first time, because Eve has been making it, so I had to make sure I could make it before she left for college. We had Japanese curry and rice.
Oh, nice. Oh, snap.
With steak. We used steak as the protein. So
I found a good Indian restaurant that has a buffet that runs 7 days a week here. Which nice. Indian restaurants here are surprisingly hard to find good ones. And this is a good one. And we went to the buffet today, and I'm still stuffed. So
I found that's a big issue anywhere, because there's like they either cater to like non-Indian people's version of Indian food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not that.
Yeah. Or like you walk in and the best they give you, like if they give you that 1 to 3 scale of heat, it's just like no, give me the real deal. And they're like, okay, 1 to 10, and you're like, all right, give me an 8. And that's That's usually pretty good.
So this place defaults to about a 4 to 5 on all their stuff. So it's spicy, but it's still flavorful.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so better get back to my list. We're never going to get done.
Wait, you had a list?
Yes.
What we do?
Sweet Tooth season 2, still working on that very, very slowly. I had never seen the movie Labyrinth before. Somehow it had just never happened.
Oh wow.
So when I was sick on Monday, but I was, trying to be conscious and long enough so that I would actually sleep the night, I watched Labyrinth. It's a very period movie. Jennifer
soundtrack.
Connelly is like ridiculously young. And yeah, good soundtrack.
She reminds me of the Babe.
It's it's not, it
Wow.
loses something when you didn't watch it back in the day, right? It's like, I see what it is, I see what it's doing, but it just doesn't quite hit the same as if you have the association of having watched it when it came out. But yeah, solid Jim Henson effort.
Oh, hi,
That whole
Mark.
intro part where is she gonna say the thing? That was pretty much perfect. But
Welcome in, Raiders.
and then actually,
I am Jess.
showcasing
I'm
David
very
Bowie's
Welcome to
Paralyzed Iris,
I am
which
a
doesn't
tricorn,
usually get much
as would say,
limelight,
not a
but it definitely got some
So welcome.
focus on there.
What were you playing a game?
Let's see, still working on the last season of Better Call Saul. It's got to be coming to a head here pretty quick. A lot of the familiar things are starting to crop up now, so it's got to be getting close. Still working on the last season of Manifest, which is really, really slow because I watch it with the one son who's never home. So really slow going on that one. And then JJK's been on hiatus for a while here. So the only anime I've been watching is called My Perfect Marriage, which is not an anime I would have ever imagined watching, but I caught half of the first episode while one of the kids was watching it. And I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. Went back, watched the first episode, and then watched the next episode. And then now it's coming out weekly. So now it's like waiting every week for it. It's really good. It's on Netflix. And it's really good. It's a good balance of kind of like a romance anime, but not really, slice of life anime, but not really, and kind of action anime, but not really. So it really balances those three things really well. So yeah, and it's called My Perfect Marriage, and it's on Netflix.
Cool.
Still reading Altered Carbon after reading nothing but The Expanse and Dresden Files for the last like 3 years. This is just taking my brain a while to get into this style of writing. Every time I start reading again, because I'll take days where I haven't been, it just takes a little adjusting to get used to. It's a very different style, and I think my brain's gotten a little used to the I don't know, it's not fluff. I mean, well, Dresden Files kind of is fluff, but they're definitely different writing styles, and it's been an adjustment getting back to a more, we don't call it a hard style or whatever, but yeah. But so still working on that. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through. And then playing mostly it's been Final Fantasy 14 and 16. Still not finished with 16. I'm still in the first expansion of 14. But they had an event and Mitchell wanted to do the event, so we got on and did the event. And then crammed through some more story content. 16, I gotta be getting close. I must have like 2 chapters left, I would think. But then, depends on how much of a trophy chaser I want to be. If I get to play the entire game all over again, because one of the trophies requires you to beat it on a difficulty that only unlocks after you've beaten it once. And then Fortnite, obviously our most of the time, weekly game. And then I've actually played a bit of Death's Door, which was one of this, well, not this because it's September now, but August's PlayStation Plus free games at the Essential tier. It's a third-person isometric Zelda-esque with Souls-like elements where you play a raven that is a soul reaper who has a red sword that basically looks like a lightsaber. Yeah, that's not a really good way to describe the game, but it's actually pretty fun. If you're into
Onward.
Zelda likes, it's pretty fun. And when I say Zelda likes, I mean like, Link to the Past type Zelda likes.
Nice.
Any questions on any of that?
Do you have ratings for any of them?
Oh, I mean, 16 is still a solid 9. Haven't run into anything that would really detract from that. The combat system for most of the game, you can get away with basically just smashing square and killing things. But then every once in a while, it actually forces you to use like the combat systems and the features of the game. And so those points usually kind of like catch me off guard. And I'm like, oh crap, I actually remembered how to actually play this game. So that's a minor gripe for me. I dislike it when the basic combat doesn't train you with the basics of what you need to do to fight harder enemies, because then you just spend a lot of time smashing square and forgetting that other buttons exist, and then all of a sudden you got to remember what all the other buttons do. And that's just maybe that's just a me thing, but that's like my only real gripe of it. The story's amazing, graphics are amazing, sound design's amazing. Yeah. 14, I think, is a solid 8 from what I've played of it. As MMOs go, it's not terrible. I mean, most of it is like a single player game when you're going through story content, because like you go into story instant stuff and you can't even be in a party to go into it. So that's kind of cool. But then you'll hit the party stuff content and then it's just like, okay, so now I got to switch to learning how to play with people versus play by myself. And then, yeah, so it's an interesting combination of the two. And I think I've just finally gotten to the content level where you can actually go into like dungeons with bots instead of actually needing people. So that makes things easier. You don't have to like wait in queue and stuff, but especially if you play a DPS like I do, because if you're playing a DPS, you're waiting a while to queue for every dungeon because everybody plays DPS. Which is nice when I play with Mitchell, because Mitchell generally plays healers or tanks. So, that makes our queue time a lot shorter. Fortnite is Fortnite. I don't know, this season seems a little bit better than the last couple, but I'm getting a little tired of the formula. It doesn't seem to have that same pizzazz it had like, I don't know, 2 years ago, year and a half ago. And I don't know if that's me or if it's the game, but this one at least seems a bit more interesting.
Yeah, this emulates my favorite season of all time, which was Chapter 2, Season 1, which was the Spy versus Spy season. And
so that's cool.
That's where the vaults came from and stuff, so yeah.
Right. And Death's Door, barely scratched the surface of that game, but I'd say it's a solid, at the point I'm at, it's a solid 8. And as far as the shows go, well, we could go into that for forever, but Ahsoka's definitely high up there, like a 9-ish. Sweet Tooth is 9, 10. Territory Manifest is just goofy fun, so it's like a 6, 7. Labyrinth was a solid 7. Better Call Saul's been a pretty solid 9 most of the time, and My Perfect Marriage is like a 10. I don't know what it is about this show. It was like made specifically for me, and it wasn't a thing I ever even knew I wanted. So, yeah.
All right.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Dave, how about you?
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm playing this little indie game from 1972 that no one's ever heard of.
Called Dot and Ball.
No, we're much better than that now.
It's Crank Dot and Ball now.
It is kind of funny. I did get a chunky liquid core. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah,
You see it like all,
it's all swirling and there's like little bits and chunks in there. Yeah.
yeah. I love that. They're just great just to, play with while you're talking. So there's that. Vampire Survivor dropped on the Switch finally. So I've been replaying through that again because I did it before on mobile because I was like, I didn't have a console that had it. And I don't play on PC, so I was just like all excited to get it. And so I played it and I pretty much beat it on mobile. I got everything on my phone. And if you know me, I never play phone games. So that tells you how good of a game it has to be. So, and then I played it, then I downloaded it on my Retroid 3 because I wanted to try it with controls. And it was pretty good on there because it's an Android-based platform, so you can get the Android apps on there. So I did that, and then I decided to stop playing on there because I heard they were announcing it for the Switch, and I'm like, I'll wait for that and get that because it'll support them. You can throw a couple bucks the developer's way because I've had a lot of fun with that game. So I'm almost through it already, unlocking everything, having a ball doing that. It's a really nice pick up and play kind of game. Highly recommended. It's a great in-between game, when you're, in between other stuff. WrestleQuest also came out.
Did you get it?
I did.
Good.
So I downloaded that and I was having trouble. Everything is based on, QuickTime event kind of games. And I find myself hitting the wrong buttons because I get in the moment and I hit the wrong buttons. It doesn't seem to penalize too much. So I'm working on that, but I'm a little sidelined, because I'm kind of going through Vampire Survivors real quick. So we'll get back to that one. I haven't tried it, but I downloaded it. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Everybody's aware of that game, right?
Word Salad 2.0. Got it. Yep.
It's basically from the people that made Jet Set Radio. You remember Jet Set Radio, right?
That was the
I
game
know
with
it existed. I
the
never
chicken
played it,
space
but-
named Ulala.
No,
That's Space Channel 5.
Shh! Don't. Oh man. Yes, I know Jet Set Radio.
Bill. No, you don't. Don't lie now.
It's with the rollerblades and the spray paint.
Yeah, because you just looked it up. You had 5 minutes.
I did not look it up. Everybody can attest on the stream. My hands were idle during that whole time.
I can't see you anymore.
Yeah, I
so
know.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. I know what Jet Set Radio is. I at least gave a good game in the same genre when I was talking about Space Channel 5. Come on now.
Yeah, okay. I get it. It was a nice dig. I appreciate that as this big old seg ahead. So I'm very excited to tear into that, but I just haven't yet. So I'm working on that. And yeah, the rest is I got Snatcher installed on my Retroid 3, which I want to play that, which I want to play through that, which is an old cyberpunk Hideo Kojima game that was on the Sega CD. And that's my obscure one that I want to tear into. As far as movies, we covered Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Oh gosh, did we on here?
I thought we did. Did we?
I think so. I think because that was before Oppenheimer, so yeah.
It was before Oppenheimer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's about to come out on streaming, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet either, so I'll have to check that out.
Oh, it's great. Soundtrack is great. You would love it. So that was the only movie I saw recently. TV has been I got through The Bear. You guys ever watch that?
Nope.
No.
As Mark, you would definitely love it. I think.
What's the synopsis?
So it's basically a guy running a restaurant kind of deal. Family drama, stuff like that. There's lots of good food scenes and everything like that. It's like he's very detail oriented, and it's very like high pressure kitchen kind of stuff. But it's just so well done, so well acted, and the story is like so gripping. And it's not even like this big story, it's a small story, but it's it feels big because of the characters. And it's in 2 seasons on Hulu. And there's this one episode that is just complete anxiety on a plate, with like this like family stuff. And if it does not run the awards this year, for Emmys and all whatnot, it's just going to be shocking. But it is such a great, like, if you enjoy family dysfunction.
Yeah, you're really selling it for me. Nothing but apprehension and dysfunction. Got it.
But the thing is, there's like the lows, and then the highs are super high. Like it's hard to describe the show. It really is, because it's got a lot going on. You just gotta watch it. It's one of the best shows out there. Honestly, it's right up there.
Yeah, a little bit slower. Yeah, what's up, bro?
This is your pee-pee talking.
Definitely worth it. To check that out. I started up the what is it what's that? It's on an Apple TV show. It's an alternate history of the space race. You guys are no help whatsoever.
Yeah,
It's like
my TV consumption has come down to like 2 things, maybe a week.
Yeah, I know. It's not. Whatever. It's good. It's really interesting. It's kind of like an alt history take on the space race where the Russians made it to the moon first.
It has to be alternate. Oh, hey, it was Zinger. Shots fired. Because they
mankind.
They just crashed.
Mankind.
They just crashed their lunar lander again. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it was. So it's definitely interesting. It's got like these, political drama with like Nixon and everything like that. Saying that we can't lose. Like it's interesting. It's pretty cool stuff. Great cast and everything like that. It's it's a pretty solid show. I've been finding Apple TV actually has a lot of really good shows that I think are flying under the radar. We also watched Shrinking. Did you ever hear of this one?
I think so. Tell me the
it's
synopsis.
It's got Harrison Ford as a psychologist who runs this practice, and he's in all the Judd Apatow movies. Jason Segel is the lead in it. So it's Jason Segel as a psychologist. Harrison Ford's in there, and it is one of the funniest shows. The pedigree actually is like Scrubs, Cougar Town. It's the people that made that. Also, produced this show. So it's got this great timing, and just the writing quality is super high. I have not laughed this hard watching a TV show in a long time. Like it is really good. So definitely that's a show worth checking out. And Harrison Ford is hilarious. He is like really funny in this. It is great seeing him get like a role like this. Especially at this stage. Other than that, it's caught up on wrestling. There was a really great historic pay-per-view over the weekend with AEW, with All In, and I'm sure Mark's gonna want to talk about it a little bit. Fantastic throughout. Not a bad match on the whole thing.
Nope.
Everybody was having fun out there.
What without going into gory details, categorizes something as a historic?
It is the largest paid attendance in the history of mankind for wrestling.
Yeah.
Extreme Mankind. Okay. All right.
There was over like 81,000.
Yep. 81,030 paid tickets sold.
And they even
Unpaid tickets?
what's that?
They do have
Are there
unpaid tickets. Those
unpaid
are
tickets?
those are called comps. The total amount
Yeah.
of people there, including the comps, was over 90,000.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually it was pretty cool because they actually made the distinction that it was like those were the paid ones, and then they said that there was like this many, comps and stuff like that. So they actually made it, they weren't lumping everything together, which is what people usually do.
And
So
WWE. Basically, WWE not only lumps them all together, but then it counts all of the staff attendance in the parking lot. They will
Yeah.
do whatever it takes to make the number as big as possible.
yeah,
Fair
so
enough.
that's fun. And then there's like the people that say like, what was what was that North Korea one?
Right. So there were, that was WCW, right? Yeah, because Rodman was there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they were
That's all.
state mandated.
yeah,
Like literally, if you were a citizen, you had to go. So there was like 200,000 people at it. So nobody counts that because those people were there under fear of death by the government. So they had to go. But this is the largest, hey, I freely went of my own volition and paid for this ticket show in history.
yeah. That the story behind that thing. I think there's a Dark Side of the Ring on that show, isn't there?
Yeah, well, you want to know something funny?
But
Rodman's going to be on Collision on Saturday.
yeah, what's that? I just saw that.
I have no idea.
So yeah, so that must have that whole story is just hilarious. So that was a nice bit of history. They did a lot of great, like, kind of like things in there with like I love what Tony does with music. Like he got Sting's old
Yep.
music.
Yep.
Like what a great touch. Just for one time, he just starts coming out there and you're just like, oh wow, like what a great touch. Saraya coming out, the Queen, like come on, you can't beat that. So loved it, great show. I don't
Did
I hate
anyone under the age of 40 get any of what you just said?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just curious because that all flew over my head. None of that means a damn thing to me. So,
the man in charge spent the money to get licensed tracks for
Well,
wrestler
I
entrances.
understand the concept, but like Saraya walking out to Queen means that's like the dude in the Star Trek episode Shaka when the walls fell. I mean, got no frame of reference. What the hell?
She's
Oh,
from
significance
she's
of
from
that?
London and she's
So they were in
British
London.
and she calls
Yeah,
herself
okay.
the Queen. So
Okay.
she was coming
Alright,
out to
so-
Queen.
Yeah,
Got
so it's a great touch. Sorry, I didn't explain all that.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
it's fine. You don't need to explain that. I'm just curious if this is this Dave and Mark stuff, or is this like stuff that everyone would get?
It's stuff that
If
wrestling
I talked
fans
to a
would get.
19-year-old, would this still be like the greatest show ever?
Oh,
or
yeah.
was it just
Yeah. There were, I mean, the pay-per-view buy rates were really good, but it seemed like the demographics they were doing well because they actually lead cable in the prime demographic 18 to 35. Like all of cable.
wow, really? Oh, that's awesome.
That's why Warner Brothers is extremely happy with them.
Well, see, because when you read comments online, it sounds like they're almost out of business.
Yeah, well, the internet wrestling community is never decisive or polarizing or lopsided skewed on one thing or another. Just ask about the Brawl In story with CM Punk and Jack Perry, who no one was there for, yet everybody has a side that they're picking. So, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's so toxic. I'm so like that needs to be like the top story of the whole pay-per-view needs to be that MJF pulled off a kangaroo kick.
No doubt, right? It was
Like, he
so
pulled it
dumb.
off,
It was so dumb.
but it worked. Like that's insane. But then there was like, and I do hate the fact that they're like pushing two pay-per-views back to back like this.
Yeah, I hate more the fact that they said they want to do this every year in this capacity.
Yeah, they
Because
need
it's a holiday in Britain and now it's a holiday here with Memorial Day and he wants to do back to back. I mean, I look at the pay-per-view and especially the main event looks great. And there are plenty of other things. So, we're going to be watching it. By the way, plug 4:30 or 3:30 Pacific, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. If you'd like to join us for the pay-per-view watch along, if you've got nobody else to watch with, you can come and join us for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm still excited about the pay-per-view, but even Lexi was like, "Holy cow!" And now they're adding the new NJPW pay-per-view October 1st. So it's like we're gonna have pay-per-views. Like between now and the end of the year, which is weird for AEW.
It's a lot. And my only concern, my concern's not about I know the content's going to be good, like the matches, but I would like story build up. I want them to focus on that. I know they can put on good matches.
I kind of have given up at this point, believe it or not, in my brain. I don't think he's going to do it. As long as he's the head booker, we're going to get 1 to 2 weeks max build for any pay-per-view show. The women's booking is horrific. I mean, Chris was just feuding with Diamante and Mercedes, and now she's tied with Britt, and I'm like, why? And it's fine because the matches are still good, but it's a little head scratching of why are they fighting each other? It's not always set up the best. And poor Moxley, every time something happens, he's got to come carry the company on his back again. That man deserves a vacation severely.
Orange Cassidy, what are you talking about? They're putting the two people that need a vacation the most
together. Yeah, I know. And that makes it interesting because I legitimately have no idea who's going to walk away with the title in that match.
I didn't have any idea with Orange Cassidy and Penta who was going to win.
Well, and that's just good storytelling on their behalf in the ring.
Right, which is great with that. That match was fantastic.
It was really good.
I found out online, people were hating on that match. And I'm like, who are these people?
People that don't like wrestling. That's the only thing I can say. Anyways, Matt is already starting to glaze over. I can see it in the reflection in the church.
But also losing a couple legends recently, which really, a future legend with Bray Wyatt and the hardcore legend Terry Funk.
I think you could clearly make the case for Bray Wyatt being a legend. He had a huge impact on the industry, whether you liked his in-ring work or not. The fact that he died at 36 and had already established such a large legacy was crazy. And Lexi knows nothing about him, but she knows Brody Lee. Brody Lee was her first wrestling death. And so I was explaining that, Brody was in that group that he started, and she's become very interested in him. She's been looking up a lot of stuff on her own, which is kind of crazy. So
my wife, really funny. Back and looks at all this stuff. So that kind of stuff. But Terry Funk, that guy. I can't find it. I have a photograph of him choking Sabu on my foot. And it's just great, and it was Terry Funk was 50, and he didn't have to do any of this stuff, and he's doing moonsaults off the thing, and oh god, that was a loss.
Yeah,
him and Roadhouse was great. It was just love the dude. I was very sad to see him go. But he made it to 89.
Yep.
Which with the use that man put himself through, what a run. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
That's ancient for a wrestler.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. No, 79. 79.
Was 79?
Yeah, 79. And his last match was 2017. So he's only not wrestled for 6 years, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Jericho's going to go out in the ring, right? That guy's he's just going to die.
He's only 52.
Yeah, but he's the oldest looking 52-year-old on the planet.
Well, it's all the drinking. Honestly. But he keeps
Yeah.
I don't know if he's getting ab injections or what he's doing, because he'll look like Bruiser Brody one week and then suddenly he's got toned abs the next week, and I'm like, that doesn't seem physically possible. But yeah,
I think I was like intermittent fasting.
maybe. It's Sting is the one you should actually worry about. The dude is 62 years old. No, 63 years old, I think. And he's like diving off the top of balconies and stuff. He's decided.
There.
Okay, thank you.
Go
My wife just
You're saying
handed.
don't-
No, my wife just handed me a piece of Chicago style pizza.
Oh.
She was hungry, so she ordered it. And I said, "I'll take one."
I thought she came down to correct your opinion on some wrestling thing.
Is it also very possible, as people in the wrestling chatter will tell you, she is now the predictions champion after All In, and she has been lording it around saying, "I'm the champion. You have to do this, that, or the other." I'm like, that's not the way it works. No.
It's funny because Carrie does the same thing. Like, you know, she's like calling stuff now, and she like, you know, she's like, I should be writing this. I'm like, exactly.
That's exactly what Lexi says. She's like, I should be laying out these matches. I'm like, yep.
It has such a. It's funny because I mean I told her all along. I was like, this is exactly like your reality, like the housewife stuff, except a satisfying ass kicking. You know, at the end
Right.
of every couple weeks.
Right.
And it's great because she really gets it. Like it's awesome. But yeah, so I'm looking forward. So yeah, we got that this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. I got to catch up on Ring of Honor stuff. I'm like a couple weeks behind on there. But yeah, it's been a great time to be a wrestling fan again. That's for sure.
It is. Big men slapping meat, indeed. And with Ospreay most likely coming when his contract runs out. Yes, please. He's so good. Okay. Watch. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is by far and away my favorite Star Trek of all time now.
Oh crap! I gotta catch up on that too.
That
I'm
finally.
still in season 1. So.
Oh God, yeah. If you can do it, you should, because it's a real good season 2. Like I say, like very rarely do they find their stride in season 1. Next Gen is probably like one of the few that actually did. I think it took Voyager like till season 2 or 3. Although some people might argue that Next Gen took till season 4. But I really think they found their stride in season 1, and season 2 is just that much better for it. Like Crodad, legit, this has surpassed Next Gen for me. Next Gen was my favorite always. It's a really close second, but this has actually surpassed it now. We have been watching MasterChef, the United Tastes of America, which is an interesting spin they put on it this year. In that, rather than having just 20 home cooks from across the country, they brought in regions. So like the Southeast, the Northeast, the West, and Central. And they could only give out 5 pins per region. And so now they're doing it basically as these team-based things, and they've just gotten to the top 12, and now they're not doing the regions anymore. But up until that point, it was all team-based region stuff. So it was kind of interesting, and they had immunity pins. If someone in your region won the immunity pin, that meant that the entire region was safe. So it was pretty interesting watching the strategy for that go down. That's still ongoing, and we caught up. So then we started Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars. And if you've ever watched British Kitchen Nightmares versus American Kitchen Nightmares, it's such a different show because British Kitchen Nightmares is all about the business of owning a restaurant, whereas American Kitchen Nightmares is all about the drama. And this is more about the business of having a good restaurant idea. And so it's really interesting. It's still like a reality TV show competition, but it is pretty interesting in how they execute it. So that's on Hulu also. Because Americans can't get over their own egos. Yeah, 100%. We went back and I realized that we never finished The Magicians. which is actually one of my favorite things that Netflix did. It was a sci-fi show originally, and then
Magicians
got
is great.
canceled, and then it got picked up on Netflix, and they finished it out. And I realized that we finished season 3, and I think at the time season 4 had just come out, and they were piecemealing it, so I didn't want to wait for it. I wanted to wait and binge the whole thing. And then season 5, the final season, came out. So we started watching season 4, and that's super good. I know I've heard that a lot, Crodad, but since I had we went into it with no like expectations whatsoever, I've really enjoyed it. And there's been some really poignant and good, well-written episodes of the show. But I imagine the book is better. By the way, also, I did call Daniel right before the show, Matt. This is particularly of interest to you. I thought he was holding out on me on something because I was sure that he must have known about it, but he did not. There is a book series called Dungeon Crawl Carl, and the synopsis is he is an ex-Navy SEAL nerd who is stuck with his ex's cat when aliens invade and force humanity into a reality TV competition dungeon crawling show.
Wait, what?
Yes. And it is a 6-book series.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Called Dungeon Crawl Carl. Yeah, that's what I said too.
Okay.
And I'm like, if anybody, I'm like, Daniel, have you been holding out on me? He's like, what are you talking about? And then I explained it. He's like, no, I would have told you about that if I knew about it. I'm like, okay, fair.
Wow, yeah, I've never heard of that. The last season
what's
of
up,
The
Monday?
Magicians was way better than it had any right to be, but was still totally unnecessary after the original arc finale.
Okay.
That was my assessment.
Well, I don't think I've gotten to the original arc finale yet, as it is.
Oh, you still? Oh, okay.
Because we're in 4 where the library controls everything, which I would imagine is before the original finale.
Dungeon Crawler Carl is free if you have Amazon Prime on Kindle.
There you go.
So
Okay.
I am going to be reading that for free.
The whole reason I found it was there was in the shared or Squared Circle Reddit thread, there was a guy who works for the post office delivering mail, and he said last week, I guess he was at All In, and he said it was like the best week of his life. And then this week, everybody's short-staffed, and so he was working 12-hour days, and the only thing that got him through was Dungeon Crawl Carl. And I'm like, what the hell is Dungeon Crawl Carl? And then I looked it up, and I saw the synopsis. I'm like, all right. So they do have audiobooks for it, too, and it is on Audible, in case you would care to listen to it instead.
All right, then.
Games I've played, Dungeons & Dragons, Fortnite, Dark and Darker went into early access. Finally. And for those of you that have been around the channel for a good while, you know that normally anytime Dark and Darker was out, we'd do a channel takeover because I love that game so much. But another little game dropped that's been in development for 6 years and open early access for 3 years, called Baldur's Gate 3. And I swear to God, I have not played a game this much in a long time. I currently have 4 campaigns that are running in parallel. 2 for the stream, 1 good on Thursday nights. You can join us for that, 7 p.m. Central, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. And then a Evil Murder Hobo campaign that is only for stream. And we do that one whenever we need filler, like if Dungeons and Dragons cancels or during Sunday Streamer Tech Support, if there's not a lot of questions. Crodad says he thinks it deserves Game of the Year. I have not gotten past Act 1 in any of my playthroughs. Well, I say that. Our Evil Murder Hobo playthrough, we did get to Act 2, but then I realized I had not done a bunch of stuff in Act 1, so we went back. But technically, we've never actually gotten all the way through in any of my playthroughs. So we used to Crodad. Time management issues. I need to check if it's still going up on iTunes. I don't think it is, but it is there on iTunes, like all the previous ones. So yes, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not sure what my current hour count is. I think it's over 230, if I'm not mistaken. 230 hours. I have logged a lot of hours into it since when early access came out. I had only played the game 33 hours. So I've literally logged 200 hours on the game since launch, which I think was 2 weeks ago. Sounds
Give or
right?
take.
Yeah. And Dark and Darker came out like the day before this came out. I have like 2 Tuesdays on Dark and Darker, and that's it. We're playing Dark and Darker on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Join us for that. I would normally have been playing the hell out of it more, but to be honest, Baldur's Gate has taken me away from everything. I am completely addicted to the game. I have not gotten to play it except for last night, this entire week, and it's been like I feel the jonesing is the short form.
Cool.
It's beautiful. The amount of freedom you have in the game is crazy. The way that you can approach things differently is crazy. When we did the Murder Hobo playthrough, I actually had something happen that I had never even considered was a possibility in the game. And you'll keep being surprised by things like that. So it's kind of crazy. Very, very good. I highly recommend it if you can. I wrote in the things I played Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, and Baldur's Gate 3. And then the last thing that I played, which granted I'm putting this as a caveat right up front, I have about 1.5 hours into in total, is Starfield. That I preloaded on both my computers on Wednesday. Thursday, I had to manually unpack all the files. It didn't automatically unpack the files. I had to go in and manually unpack, and it took like 8 hours to unpack the files. So, thanks Steam, thanks Bethesda. But that being said, my first impressions of it are it is a 2015 Bethesda game, and that comes with all the pluses and minuses. If you love Fallout, if you love what's the Fusorda? Skyrim. Skyrim. If you like Skyrim, you're gonna probably love this game because it's set up very similarly. But that being said, they have not. There's like no quality of life updates from 2015. Everything is done through 6 layers of menus. I had a weird problem that none of my other friends have had, where like I was running it last night on my streaming computer, so everything was maxed out ultras. I'm running a 3080. You know, I get it's not a 4090, but whatever. It's a 3080. It's still like pretty close to the top of the line, and it looks great and it runs great. But 2 times in cutscenes when people walked up to me to talk to me, they would say their lines without moving their lips, and then 40 seconds later, their lips would start moving. So that was really weird. Every time the game starts to autosave, my FPS goes down to 2 frames a second. Or if I'm manually saving, same thing, it goes down to 2 frames a second. So that's a little weird too. But again, your mileage may vary. The point I wanted to make is, despite all of that, I'm already having a really good time with the game. It's very fun. I think this is like, if I could figure out a day to stack something on the channel, I actually would, to play this as a role-playing, like an actual RP run of being a space hacker pirate. Because I can already see that this is going to be highly immersive and a bit able to do that. They gave me the first mission, and instead of doing it, I went the opposite direction. I'm exploring the whole planet right now. I think the only thing that scared me for a second is that I thought I was really far away from my ship, and I only had 18% oxygen left. But it turns out that's the indicator for the planet surface, not how much oxygen I actually have. If there is a meter for oxygen, I don't know where it is, and I'm probably going to suffocate and die eventually because I have not paid any attention to it whatsoever. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. It's interesting. There are usability issues that I hope they patch eventually. Like scanning is not intuitive, and you have to be really close to stuff to scan it, and the scan button doesn't always light up when you're eligible to scan, if that makes sense. So a lot of times I'm just running around spamming the scan button to try and make sure that I've captured something if I can. Flying is a little, it's not what Jimmy Julius wanted. He wanted Star Citizen, fly the ship from ground into space, fly it from space to ground, and everything in between. It is not that. You pick a place on a map, you press a button, and you go there, unless you're in the shooting mini game. When you're in space battle. So it's more of a story than it is a sim. Exactly correct, Crodad. That being said, I'm actually really glad that I don't have to land the ship or manage a bunch of controls, because guess what? I'm not good at landing a ship in Star Citizen either. So I'm actually glad that it does it for me automatically. I would hazard to guess that will be one of the first mods, is someone will find a way to allow you to actually land the ship manually if you want to do it. I'm sure it will. But anyways,
Can you're like dogfighting and stuff? Like,
you
is that
can,
something?
yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
But not like any of the other space travel in between. Like if you wanna I don't know what they call it, hyperwarp, whatever. If you wanna, jump drive from here to this planet that's like 6,000 meters away, you literally just push a button and you're there. And you're looking at a star map of the planet once you get there, going, where can I land? Okay, there's a spot. You click it and it shows you landing. So that's really about the extent of it.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't had bourbon in a while. I'm not quite at buying somebody a PS5 territory, but it might be like buying a cheap.
So I actually have something for you to consider, Dave Bach. Because what I didn't mention it at the top of the show, but what we are doing is we're currently in the middle of MulletAid 2023. Good friend of the show, Dark Razored. I don't know if you read about it, but there were a bunch of storms in Ohio that knocked power out for 230,000 people for like more than a week and a half. And he's been one of the people that has been affected. So he's been having to stay in a hotel with all of his animals and his wife and all that good stuff, which is rather expensive during the whole time. So we're taking up a collection for him. And if you would like to donate, all you have to do is go to our Twitch page, and it is the very first on the About section. It is the first thing. It looks like a guy in a mullet. If you click on that, you can make a donation directly to him. We are not the middlemen on this. We take nothing out. This all goes directly to Dark. So that is something, if you are looking to throw a few dollars somewhere, I would highly recommend sending it that direction, because that could actually do some good for somebody.
We can definitely do that. I was scared you were going to say that I had to grow a mullet, because that's not happening.
No. The mullet is appearing right like down at the bottom of your chin, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that's it.
That's the reverse mullet?
Yeah, that's the only place we can do it. Which is really weird when you think about it. Like, this happened fine. This not. It's not. Like, this can't happen anymore.
I mean, I get frustrated. I can't do either of what you two are doing, like, at all. I look like a patchwork quilt that somebody forgot the patches.
You have luscious locks up here, so that's what's important. Nobody loves a bald man.
It's just an upside down pineapple, no worries. Nice.
True.
So yes, if anyone would like to contribute again, I'll post the link in chat as well. But that is we're doing that through Monday to try and help him out. So check that out. And it's not just me; it's actually a a big group of streamers that are kind of doing this in tandem. And then my dog goes nuts. There we go. So that's in the Twitch chat right now. The other thing that I did need to show off, which you'll have to look at the stream for. I found what I would call a bad good used video game store. And it's bad because it's one of those ones that would trigger every OCD Lexi has, because they have like tubs of unsorted stuff sitting around. And the place has a musty spell, but at the same time they have some good gems in there. And this, which I did tell Matt about, I'm not sure I told you about, Dave. Oh, it's not going to do it. Hold on one second. There, now it'll do it.
Okay.
Can you see or no?
No, I can't.
Yes,
What?
I can. If you're looking at the stream.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh,
Well, come on. You've probably got like 13 monitors. Get
Yeah.
on one of them.
yeah.
That sounds like work. And I'm gonna be honest. The room's taking a second to catch up when I turn my head.
Well, that's why you want to go to the stream anyways and donate now before you forget.
So what's the stream? Twitch?
Twitch. God,
Twitch.tv/Gamersledge.
yes. The same one it's been for the last 9 years as of last month.
Typing is very tough right now. I'm sorry. Wow, I got it. Okay, awesome.
All right, so in the bottom
Wow.
right, do you see the Oh, you got to mute it.
I did. I
Okay.
did.
Do you see what's in the
I'm
bottom
not
right?
Told you I'm not that far gone. Final Fantasy.
8
8.
What? Really?
for $20. It's a Japanese import, blackback discs and everything. So that was kind of the find of the week. And then I also found Wild Arms. I think it was 2. Wild Arms 2 blackback Japanese import. I got to go back and pick it up for Matt.
Nice.
And I totally have not done so yet. Sorry.
Ah, no worries.
So yes, that was a complete surprise find. Yeah. But yes, nothing really organized well, and they had really good things and then they had really bad things, and it's like the two people that were behind the counter were too busy talking to themselves to actually see if I needed help or anything like that. Things I notice having done that job, having owned a store, I guess. But yes, that's everything on my list.
My old game collection, because I have some crazy good things that I could probably sell. I can't bring myself to get rid of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Like, that's one I just can't let go of. But I'm wondering if I should start letting go of some other stuff, while the market's hot right now.
Well, I would post it in the Discord first to see if anybody's interested in the community before you take it elsewhere, because there are quite a few people who like the retro games.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I have quite a bit of stuff out there. I'm really annoyed because I got rid of a lot of boxes from my Game Boy stuff because I figured nobody's gonna want them. Yeah, apparently that changed. So I messed up there.
I had a lot of good games until they got stolen.
Oh, that makes me cry.
All my blackback PS1 discs, Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Trigger, Einhander.
Wait, how'd they get stolen?
I have my theories. It was during our move from the second to the third house here in Vegas.
Yeah. Oh no.
I have my theories.
Not about that.
Yeah. So all my PS and
I
with
was-
it
I
were
was
all my
always hoping they would
PS4s.
show back up.
Yeah, I was hoping to,
Yeah.
but not so much. All my PS4 games, all my PS5 games, all gone, as well as all my PS1 games. So that sucks. But it is what it is. Yay. Do we have any news?
Yes.
Oh, did you do your donation before you forgot?
I'm about to. Where is it on again? You
Uh,
said
if
it was
if do you see the about tab at the bottom, like right under the screen, right under the image for the stream?
I see a bunch of.
Do you see the Celebrate September thing?
What's going on?
Literally,
If I scroll down,
if you scroll
it's
down,
half covered by the PC build box. So you only see like half of the thing on mine for some reason. I don't know, the layout of mine's weird.
oh, probably Control Minus or Control Plus will fix that. But you
Yeah,
can
yeah, I see it.
you can see it looks like a picture of a person wearing sunglasses and a mullet.
Mullet, yeah, sunglasses, mullet, mustache, yeah. It's kind of purple background.
I got it. We're good.
Okay.
See, that makes it easy because like I can use my fingerprint to put in the credit card info, so that makes it way easier.
Oh, I'll start with the first piece of gaming news. Volition is no longer a company,
Yeah, saw that.
Oh,
which
that
is
that.
really weird that the new Saints Row is going on PlayStation Plus for free as they dissolve the company.
Is that just like kick them while they're down?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I don't know who thought that would be a good idea to make the most bland, generic tech bro version of Saints Row. How is that going to serve the company at all?
Four, especially after 4. 4 is one of the most fun video games
I
I've ever
agree.
played
I
in
agree.
my life.
I agree.
Like I downloaded that again on the Switch, and I forgot just how much fun I had with that.
Yep.
With oh my god, what's that one song on there that where everybody's just like, oh, I can't say it because we're supposed to be family. But like it's just so fun, like running up, like that is to me, Saints Row 4 was just one of the ultimate video games. Like it is just fun. And just like all the stuff you can do in it is just crazy fun. Like that was it. Like that to me, and it's great music, great, fun to have. They had all the great voice actors in there. You had Keith David or
Yep.
David
Nope. You're
Keith.
right.
Yeah, Keith David.
Keith
Thank
David.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you had Keith David in there, which I always love when he shows up in anything. Like Keith David and anything makes it better. Like that's just like the rule. And the follow-up, a game like that with something just so generic is just sad. And I'm kind of curious to like give it a try just to see like how bad it got, since I don't have to pay for it technically. Even though Sony raised rates, are we going to talk about that too? Is
Yep.
that like a new?
Yep.
Or should we talk about that now?
Yes.
Get it out of the way.
So they're raising the rate for the top tier from $120 or $120 to $150. So I just went ahead and bought another year at the $120 rate before they raised the rates. So now I've got till like January of 2025 before I have to worry about it again.
It's
Yeah, mine just renewed. I didn't even know I was going to do the same thing, and then all of a sudden I was playing Final Fantasy 14. No, it was while we were playing Fortnite. And all of a sudden I got you've paid $120 to Sony. I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't buy any Fortnite packs. What the heck's going on here? Oh, it was my Plus sub renewing. Okay, all right, that's fine.
Interesting.
It's like they need to show me something in order to keep me going at that
I mean,
level.
to be honest, to be fair,
To be fair.
I have gotten the least amount out of PlayStation Plus in the last year than I have in the entire time PlayStation Plus has been a thing.
I mean, I've gotten more out of it than I've gotten out of Game Pass, if I'm being honest with myself.
Yeah, same.
I don't have Game Pass specifically for that reason.
Yeah, I don't have Game Pass either. That's why I've got one.
The only thing of Starfield, but I can't play it yet because I didn't pay the extra $35 to get the 2-week early
Right.
access or whatever. So
Right.
by the time I get around to playing it, everyone else will have moved on.
It's
to
just
something
it's just 5 days,
else. Okay. Yeah, I know it's sometime next
which is dumb to make somebody pay $30 for 5 days early access.
Hey, but if you can, might as well do it.
No,
I'm not saying it's right.
I mean, I'll point you at Baldur's Gate 3 to conclude that.
Oh yeah,
discussion.
I will point you to Archon.
Yeah, but Baldur's Gate 3 was a feature complete game that required nothing else, and they gave it a month early to everybody.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I was saying. What? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time following things right now. Yeah, I don't. It seems like a bit much in order to do that, but I'm just happy that Matt will be able to play it. Is Matt going to play it?
Play what?
I don't
one?
know. Oh,
Starfield. Starfield. Are you going to play Starfield?
Yeah, I'll get to it at some point. I'm still 16. 16's not that big of a game. Mitchell's almost through it for a second time, and I still haven't beat it a first time. I gotta figure something out here because I'm off the rails. I don't know what the heck's going on.
No, I know what's going on. You got to stop being old.
No, yeah, I forgot.
You got to stop playing it as a
I forgot that
flower
thing
picking
is.
simulator.
You
2023.
need to not be old, and you need to hit the lottery so you can be independently wealthy and not have to work anymore. Because that's what I'm shooting for at this point. I just want to hit the lottery so I can just catch up on reading and movies and games. You know, that'd be dope. But yeah,
patch
what?
2 has already dropped for Baldur's Gate 3, which is nuts because it's been 2 weeks since the game's been out. And it introduces...
One of them had something to do with putting somebody in a box and hovering them over a portal now behaves the way it's supposed to.
Well, that too.
Things I learned on TikTok.
Yeah, but the big thing was that, so since I knew I wouldn't be doing romance on stream because there was probably no way to, cut the bear sex and stuff, but there actually is. I had friends come in and make characters so that way I could never get any companions because there was no way to dismiss player characters from your party. And I also knew that they wouldn't object to my choices. Like if I was doing an all evil playthrough, they wouldn't care if I murdered everybody. Whereas the other companions, the story companions, would and would probably lose and or fight me during that. So we just killed all the companions anyways. But before they could join our party. But that's not the point.
Basically what we did with our the original Sin 2 run.
Yes.
Divinity 2
yes.
Divinity original Sin 2 where we just killed everything and everyone. Yeah.
Right. That was that is the Murder Hopa run that we're doing right now. But the point is that they would never leave me or attack me for the choices that I was making. So I did that on purpose. Right. Well, the problem is, okay, what happens if Daniel can't make it one night, right? So now you can tell him to stay in camp and he gets stuffed into a wardrobe, which is hilarious. He's actually an item in this wardrobe, and you can pull him out when you want to have him in the party again. But the problem is it doesn't seem to be working as intended, because if Daniel's not here and I have a fourth player connect to make a new character, it instead assigns Daniel's character to him. So I don't think it's working the way they might have intended it yet. So I'm hoping they patch that soon. What other news do you guys have?
I honestly haven't. I mean, the PlayStation thing was the biggest thing because, and I just want to complain about that for a second. Not the price increase because we've already talked about that, and all the tiers went up, right? That's the one that really gets me. I mean, the essential tier went up $20, and I mean, that's already the tier that you're kind of aiming for your lowest common denominator and stuff. And I mean, extra $20 is not insignificant. I mean, I get it's for a whole year, but that's still, that puts that up to $80 for the essential tier, which that kind of rubs me the wrong way. But the worst thing to me is they snuck it in. Like they didn't make it its own post. They snuck it in at the bottom of the monthly games post, right? So if you didn't read all the way to the bottom of the monthly game post and weren't paying attention to all the news stuff that threw it out later, it was just hidden at the bottom of the PlayStation Plus games for September post, which that to me was like the ultimate crappiness of this. Is like, you're going to do this and then you're not even going to make it its own post. You're not going to, they said they're going to send emails out to subscribers and explaining all the changes, but I haven't gotten one yet. So I don't know what they're going to do it the day that the price change hits. That's kind of crappy in and of itself. So I don't know, that whole thing, I don't know, that whole thing just really just kind of irked me the way they handled it.
Oh,
sorry, that's the same news story again.
No, actually, I didn't even think about this because it's been a month. It seems like it's been an eternity since we did the podcast. Everybody stopped playing Diablo 4 pretty much, unless you're a super casual, because everybody realized that there were some really bad enforced design choices on purpose. And there is a great video that I highly recommend everyone watch on YouTube called Diablo 4 has gotten worse, and so has Blizzard. And they talk about some of the really crappy things that they've done, and they pushed this season out, and it's only gotten worse. So yeah, there's that. I mean, that's not really news, but it's kind of a surprising thing on how they've done this.
Well, since we've been hitting bummer stuff here, I could say this quick. The Spider-Man 2 themed stuff for PlayStation dropped today. I got my controller. Keegan got his PS5. So
now, does that PS5 come with the game?
It comes with the download voucher. So
okay.
So yeah, the game doesn't come out till October 20th.
That's why I was very confused.
Yeah, me too. At first I was like, oh yeah, all right, it's a download voucher. So we unboxed that tonight, and he got it set up and everything. So that was pretty awesome. It looks great. Controller looks great. So yeah, the only thing that sucks about that is they apparently only made like 300 of those plates for those of us who didn't want to buy another PS5, and scalpers bought them all up in 0.2 microseconds. So so any of us that wanted to just get the plates for the PS5 so that we could make it look like we bought the new one, haven't been able to do that. So
I do have like a troll / serious question. Who exactly is that plate aimed at? Because the blood, it's a blood spatter, and that blood has to be Spider-Man. So is that what you want on your PS5? Because Spider-Man's the good guy, so it couldn't be.
It's not a blood splat. It's the black symbiote overtaking the red Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. It looks like a blood spatter down in the bottom right corner. So I was like, why would anyone want a blood splatter of Spider-Man? Because it's got to be Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's the hero. He's not causing blood splatters on other people. Why would anyone want that? And I was just like really perplexed. And I'm like, it's kind of a troll question, but at the same time, if you think about it, it's kind of like, why? Why would anyone want that? That makes so much more sense if it's the symbiote overtaking it. I see. Yeah, okay.
It's the symbiote tendrils overtaking the Spider-Man red. And then on the black side, it's all black. On the back side, it's all black with the, the Venom style.
I think that's the part that didn't get captured very well in the pictures you took. Because I was really, really trying to figure it out. And I'm like, it doesn't. I mean, just the bottom right portion of the left side of the panel it just totally looked like a blood splatter to me. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, that makes sense.
Because yeah, the controller has the same thing. It's all 2/3 of it, 3/4 of it are black, and then just the very last bit on the right is red with the black kind of tendriling over into it.
Nice. Have you plugged the controller in yet?
I have.
I also got an email for the pre-order for the remote.
The PlayStation Portal. A handheld that Dave's not going to get because it's not really a handheld.
Let me ask you this: are you that drunk, Dave?
That's, can I just say that's how bad that product is right now? That I can get a notification for that when I'm drunk, and I'm like, nope, not a good idea. Like they actually said that, like, oh, and the battery life is equivalent to the DualShock, DualSense controllers. Oh, really? So it lasts 35 minutes. That's great. Yeah, no, I don't understand this product at all. This is literally this is the niche for that product. It's for people that only have a 4K TV, one 4K TV in the house they have their system plugged into, that on a TV that they're never allowed to use because like their significant other is watching like Housewives or something like that.
I don't get it. You already have a phone or a laptop that you can stream it to anyways. Who is this thing actually for?
But this has haptics.
Yeah, but so does a paired PS5 controller.
Yeah, they don't work really when you do it through the. At least when I tried it, it doesn't really work.
It worked through my iPhone.
Okay, I when I tried it, maybe there's been an update.
Now I will tell you,
didn't work.
I don't play it through my iPhone. If I'm gonna do it that way, I'll take a cord and actually plug it into my laptop and do it that way. But I just don't see who this is for.
Oh,
well, I mean,
with your cords.
I mean, I see a place where okay, this is like the somebody who likes to play a little bit before they go to bed, but their SO doesn't like the light of having a TV on in the bedroom while they're trying to sleep or something. So I can see that there's some edge cases, but yeah, I don't see this selling enough to justify its existence.
Not for $200.
No.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, for $200, you can get a full, like, retro, what do they call those things?
Switch?
No. Raspberry Pi?
No, that's $25.
Like that, you can do emulation, a retro emulation portable that can play up to like, all kinds of stuff. So you can play like, thousands of games on there. Like, why wouldn't you invest in that and just play classic stuff on that if you're just going to be looking at a little screen?
Okay, you remember the statistic that just came out a little while ago that like some obscene like 72% of PlayStation owners only ever play Call of Duty, right?
Fair enough. Okay, that makes it even worse for this product. Like, why are they going to bother playing Call of Duty?
I mean, why wouldn't you spend $300 more and just get a Steam Deck?
Exactly.
Because all your friends are on PlayStation. I don't know.
But you can run the PlayStation app on Steam Deck. That's the thing I don't get. Is like it makes no sense to me who this thing is for.
Awful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm intrigued by the new headsets. I really kind of want to get that new headset because I'm using headsets as I game more and more. So I'm intrigued by the new headsets. But yeah, this one, I'm not. I don't know. There's a think tank somewhere, and maybe there's a real Japanese case for this, right? Maybe this is an international product that as North American, U.S. folks, we just don't get. But
maybe it's like people that don't own TVs but own PS5s, because that's got to be a huge market.
Well, it makes it a market now. Right. I mean, that is a viable market now.
I don't know. This is a piece of
I don't know. You still
Oh,
have to
okay.
hook up your PS5 to the TV in order to sync it.
I don't know.
It's
weird.
It's very weird. I agree with Dave on this one 100%. I don't think it's for anybody. And I think it's one of those things where I'm like, they're going to launch this thing and the sales are going to be not as what would be the judicial terminology they would use? Not as brisk as we would have liked, meaning they're going to have a stockpile of warehouses that have these things in them, and then they're going to eventually say this was a bad idea.
I will.
Hey,
I will
if they
buy
fire
one.
sale one for $50, I will get one when it hits $50.
100%. 100%. Sure.
I was gonna say even at 100, I might consider.
I
but
don't
would
think.
have to be.
Yeah, I don't think I would do $150. That makes sense. Because sure,
The
then
same price as a controller. So what are the new controllers? 70,
75.
75?
Yeah,
something like that?
75.
Yeah.
We'll go with 75 on air because that's like it just doesn't make sense. I'm so mad at them because they're so capable of doing something so awesome and they didn't.
Now, if that was like a PlayStation Vita in there with a dual shock controller built in, now we might be talking about something.
Oh, I don't think I told you also missing for me.
What?
Your Vita?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now that's a line.
I'm
too
very,
far.
very upset about it. My OLED Vita, to be specific.
Oh,
But anyways, in other news, BioWare.
I still have a PlayStation TV if anybody wants.
I do have one of those and it's packed.
Oh
how
man.
do you have? Why?
I thought it was a cool idea because I could stream. I was going to use it to stream the upstairs PlayStation to the downstairs TV.
So you want to talk
Except
about
it never worked well.
the niche use case? I took it to hotels with me so that I could stream my PlayStation stuff in the hotel.
Did it work?
It did most of the time, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Never mind.
Not stream. Oh yeah, I could stream my PS4 if I wanted to. Wait, was it PS4 or PS? Yeah, PS4.
Was it 4 or 3? I think it was
No,
4.
was it? No,
3?
I think it was 3.
See, it's been so long.
And I even remember, this is how old it is, I even remember playing Call of Duty on it. And it actually did pretty well. That's how old it is because that was the last Call of Duty game I played.
You said, dude.
It was PS8. Thank you, Tiny Painting Desk. It was not 8. PS8. But in other news, BioWare laid off roughly 50 employees, saying they must shift to a more agile and more focused studio. PC Gamers succinct blurb underneath that is, with new Dragon Age and Mass Effect games currently in development, BioWare decided what it really needs is fewer people to work on them. Oh, PC Gamer, you make me chuckle.
You sassy minx.
They did announce that the Amazon Fallout TV show is coming in 2024 and will be set in Los Angeles.
Everything in its monkeys getting delayed because of
The writers'
and
strike, yep.
SAG-AFTRA strike.
Yep. Except for Quantum Leap Season 2. It's going to be on the air here shortly on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. in the Prime slot now.
Wow. They're feeling well, it's either limited availability or they're feeling strong.
Yeah, it's limited availability, I'm pretty sure.
Hey. All they got. Hey.
EW?
No.
Oh.
It's like, I gotta get on that too.
Well, I was going to ask, have you been watching that?
I have not. But I mean, I started watching it in the early on.
No. Do it backwards. Go to the most recent one and start watching backwards. Yeah. They are amazing.
They're hilarious.
I
awesome.
am so surprised at how good they are. That thing needs to continue.
I don't understand why he's not on main TV.
I'm
More
pretty
with that.
sure he would have no idea how to use him.
I guess, but I mean, he's got a. That guy's awesome.
He is awesome. I agree.
No, wait. There was actually something I was gonna say. Ah, never mind.